Well, technology and automation are rendering low-skilled jobs obsolete at a frightening pace. We've been talking about this for a couple of years, but it seems to be picking up momentum in a kind of scary way. A November report by McKinsey Global Institute estimated that self-driving cars, robots, and artificial intelligence could eliminate up to 73 million jobs in this country by 2030, which is not that far from now. Despite this, the bulk of America's political and economic elite are continuing to demand, for some reason, more low-skilled immigration into the U.S. 1.8 million immigrants entered this country last year, 2016. Actually, that was the biggest figure in American history. Most of them were low-skilled workers. Why is that? Javier Palomar is CEO of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and he joins us tonight. Javier, thanks for coming on.
How are you, Tucker? Thanks for having me.
I took a friend to the doctor yesterday. The surgeon and the head nurse were both immigrants. They were both superior, impressive, and great people, and they did a great job. And it was a reminder that a lot of immigrants are great, but they're not all the same. And you got to kind of wonder, at a time when the jobs that immigrants have traditionally done are going away at a really rapid clip, why are we not adjusting our immigration policy accordingly?
Well, you know, I think we shouldn't conflate two separate things here. There's immigration policy, which obviously needs to get looked at and needs to be fixed. But let's look at the facts. Right now, we are at about a 4% unemployment rate. That's near perfection. What that tells us is that, in fact, there aren't a bunch of people walking around without a job. And what we're hearing from our clients, from the technology sector,
are you being serious?
Absolutely, from the technology sector, to manufacturing, to skilled labor, to agriculture. Every one of our clients have more jobs than they have people to fill those jobs.
But the trend is really clear. Low-skilled jobs are going away at a faster rate than any other kind of job. So why wouldn't we say, stop? We want talented immigrants, but we want people who can fill the jobs, not just of the distant future, but like of the next decade. And those are not low-skilled jobs. And yet the people who are coming in are overwhelmingly low-educated people, low-skilled people, maybe great people. A lot of them probably are. But that's not a good picture at all. Why are we doing that?
Tucker, I just spent 4 days on the West Coast talking to the California Strawberry Growers Association, 2 days in Florida talking to the Florida Growers Association. In both cases, on both sides of the country, low-skilled labor, they do not have enough people to pick the crops.
Strawberry picking, really? I mean, look, I'm not again. I have family in agriculture, but let's be real.
All the way to the most
technically is not the future. Okay, no,
all the way to the most technically advanced jobs in this nation. We are actually at 4% unemployment, my friend.
But that's not a real number, as you well know, and it doesn't change the fact that we're importing people who are overwhelmingly less skilled than our native population. Look at the DACA recipients. We're always hearing about, oh, they're all in the military or class president. Some of them are. But for every DACA recipient in the military, 2 have been found to be in a gang. They are graduating high school at a much lower rate than Americans, going to college at a much lower rate than Americans. Doesn't mean they're bad people.
Here are the facts around DACA.
Why are we doing this?
Here are the facts around DACA. The DACA recipients right now have a 91% employment rate, which is, by the way, better than their native-born counterparts. They are heavily vetted before they come into this country. They are basically disqualified from any kind of federal funding or grants of any sort when they are a DACA recipient. They are paying over $2 billion in state and local taxes every year.
What's the most common occupation for a DACA recipient?
It runs the gamut.
No, they are in the military. Do you know the most common one?
What is it?
Food preparation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And that's one of the sectors that is being automated. Have you been to McDonald's recently?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, so my point is, why don't we have a system that gives overwhelming preference to, say, engineers, people who write code, and not preference to the relatives of people who are already here? I don't understand. A normal country would do that. Why don't we?
The reality of it is, Tucker, again, we need help on every conceivable business model in this country right now needs skilled labor, and it runs the gamut.
Then
again,
why are the majority of immigrants unskilled labor?
Because those are the people that are coming to this country. And the reality of it is,
why don't we decide who's coming to this country? Why do we say we want to give preference to people who can really help our economy? Why aren't we doing that?
It is the same as saying that the people who are coming in doing those jobs are in fact not helping the economy. And in fact, they are helping the economy.
I'm not attacking them. I'm really not attacking them personally in any way. And I understand why they want to come here.
Yeah.
It just seems like we are doing the bidding of employers that want to have their strawberries picked cheaper. And the long-term effect is really bad on the country. The rest of us are going to pay the cost of that.
No,
why are we going along with this?
Here's the sad reality of it is when you talk to these individuals in the agricultural sector, they will tell you that they have tried to offer these jobs to native-born Americans at any price, and they cannot fill those jobs.
Pay me $30, I'll pick strawberries. Javier, it's great to see you. Thank you for
Thanks for having me, Tucker. Take care.
More than 100,000 homeless people live in the state of California. It's more than live in the city of Akron, actually. We'll talk to the mayor who says the state is doing everything it can to increase that number for some reason. Stay tuned.